Jayapataki Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gora Bhakta Vrinda.
So Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, the first chapter, actually the 8th chapter, 16th verse. So the order of the Krishna Guru.
Bahu Janma Karya Shravana Kirtana Tambutana Paya Krishna Pali Prematana.
So the one who is offending the holy name with 10 offenses and chants Mahamantra Hare Krishna, despite all his efforts, will not get love to God ever. The supreme purpose of the chanting of the holy name, even if he repeats this holy name for several lives. So Srila Prabhupada's purport, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that a person might be chanting Hare Krishna mantra during many years, but if he hasn't accepted Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so this person will not be elevated to the level of devotional service. So you gotta follow strictly the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that he's giving us in Shikshakshaka. So we have to repeat the holy names of God in a humble state of mind, lower than the grass and more tolerant than a tree, having no ego. So in this condition of the mind, you can be chanting the holy names of God continuously. So there's a condition of mind where the holy name is continuously chanted. And this is a natural phenomenon. It's an eternal phenomenon for the soul. We see that there are some material elements that our body consists of, and same elements are surrounding us. Same elements. The basic ones are 5 of them, right? 5 gross elements. So they're called Mahabhuta. 5 gross elements. Even though ether is not examined so thoroughly yet. And now we see that all these elements, they're limitless. And now our bodies are so tiny compared to all these elements. So there are some atoms and universes, worlds, limitless number of them. So now we're looking for the soul in ourselves. So we do understand that the gross body consists of all these 5 elements, but the life is not created with help of these gross elements. We don't see that happening. So having analyzed it a little bit, and having given it a thought, we start understanding the difference, that there's a living being that supports this type of body, and it expresses its presence in consciousness. As soon as this life force leaves this body, the body becomes formless, just ash. It becomes earth, water, air, fire. So you see, our body is supported by some force that hasn't been examined yet. If we find this life force, this will turn out to be really tiny in our body. So Vedas help us with that. So literally 1 of the 10,000th of the tip of hair. That's the size of a soul. So all these rays of consciousness, all this energy, the energy of desire, the special energy of desire, the spiritual energy that supports this body, And in this, we can understand that I'm a soul, okay, but I'm not supporting this body. I just desire to enjoy. I just want to enjoy. That's all I want. But the secret is that if you find the soul of a living being, now you gotta find another soul that supports everything. So one soul desires, the other one supports. So there are two souls in one body. So the second soul that is simultaneously everywhere in all the bodies. So it realizes all these processes, birth, growth, all these changes. So we say that the nature is working here and we're not able to change anything. It's called daiva, the supernatural force. You don't see any reason behind it because it doesn't exist here in the material world. Some mysterious energy that is in charge of controlling everything. That's why this world is so strange, just against my desires, as it turns out. See, we have some desires, but in the end, you see, it's all done. With all the aspirations and achievements. So we are coming to the conclusion that there's a spiritual force inside of this matter, someone's will, someone's intelligence. And then it turns out that there's a spiritual space. If there's a soul, the atom, if there's a meta-atom, the material space, so spiritual space should be also present, where there's no material cover. So that's why all these laws of the material body does not work for the soul. A soul does not get born, does not get old. So it's totally unnatural for a soul to go through all these stages. So in this world, so we have a duality of enjoyment and going through pain. So if there's no pain, we think that, okay, everything's okay. There's an illusion. The pain will come, inevitably, as the consequence of wrongdoings. This is like a punishment, but in the spiritual world, there are no punishments, because there are no violations. And the spiritual world here, we understand as testaments. So it all comes down to us as the instructions, the spiritual scriptures. They're sacred, they're pure. So they bring the person up to the highest level of the holiness, if we follow the laws of God. Otherwise, we suffer. That's because we don't follow God's laws. So what's the reason of that? Of this attachment to the matter? It says here. It's what we think of us, what we think we are, what we think who we are. It's got a great power, great influence. So practically, person is not even able to overcome it. The opinion, self-opinion of who I am. So this is my kind of false life, false soul. But this is life. That's the case. But it's like my real life. So accept some names, some definitions that I cannot abandon. It's worse than death. If someone criticizes me, I feel pain. It's because of my self-identification. We know that you can hurt someone with just words. You will inflict the biggest pain. Just words against me and what I think of myself. So you gotta preach, understanding who this person is, what he thinks he is. So every person in this world thinks that he's significant, and we gotta respect it. So he's waiting for that, to be referred to with respect. No one will be deceiving him, betraying him. He will only be loved. Even though he cannot act like that, he wants to be treat it like that. If you consider yourself to be saint, think again. Although I sometimes allow myself to behave like this. I think that I am sacred, I am holy, but not them. If I do something wrong, I have a reason for that. I can explain it. And when I explain it, you have to understand me. And if you don't understand me, it's just you're not educated enough. So, okay, we're trying to understand sinful people. Well, yeah, they have their own senses, their world of relationships, world of names. So this is like the second life for them. The real false life that they identify themselves with. So when I listen to your holy name, they don't actually hear it. They can't reach this speechlessness inside of them. Because this false ego that they have, it screams all the time, never stops. It's recommended to get people, to get as many devotees in one place as possible to chant Hare Krishna very loudly, so you can dissipate the fog in our mind. So we start feeling some happiness, and at least for some time we forget who we are, where we come from, who's rich, poor, Russian, not Russian. So this illusion dissipates for some time. But then, according to our experience, right, this illusion comes back again. So sometimes this illusion allows us to inhale and exhale, and then it comes back again, creating new self-identification based on this happiness. So who's the most ecstatic here? So now you see, we identify ourselves in a different way. There's also competition. Who gives a better lecture? Okay, I'll do my best. So I, it always stays. The individual I, it stays. Interesting thing, isn't it? So once we refer to the reality, or pay attention to the reality, we see that all these names are illusory. And we become protected. We forgive everybody. We don't feel anybody. We are happy. We can easily forgive and let go everything. Are some scars that, all our sins that we used to do in the past. When we just touch the reality, touch upon the reality, this eternal energy that is inside and outside at the same time. Neither inside or outside. So if we take this material thing, we will not find anything there, but it's there. Why you won't find it? Because it's already outside. If you're looking outside, it will turn out to be inside. And same thing, vice versa. What Chernyshevsky used to say, what are we supposed to do? And when we switch our attention to the illusion, so the reality becomes non-existent. When we see our reflection in water, we think that, wow, this is so real. It also convinces us. We're convinced that when looking into the mirror, this is me, right? So I'm in the mirror. Although usually the reflection in there is not correct. It's impossible to see myself with my own eyes. So we create an image in the mirror every morning. With this image we live. Without understanding why we are treated so strangely. Because in life, in emotions, we are very different. Once the cameraman is looking at us, we change our appearance immediately. So this is the image we've been carrying. But in real life, we forget who we are sometimes, and we express who we are. But in this case, we use the reflection of the relationships, if you're smart enough. So I am expressed in the reflection of other people's relationships with me. So I might hear what people think of me, what they say of me, and then I can guess in the end what it looks like from a side. So now we also have video systems. So you say, if you point a camera to someone, usually people say, no, don't film me. I don't like it. Okay, so there's a picture, so look at me. I look okay here, so use this picture. So meditate on this picture, this is me. But this one, no, it doesn't look right. So this is your self-opinion that is actually static. It's static in our imagination. Then it gets activated. It does not reflect the aesthetical beauty of our perfection. Soul is dynamic. In any aspect, any movement, it's beautiful. That's where it all comes out from. I want to know that I am beautiful, both from the side and the front, moving this, moving so. That's how we play in the modern. So Krishna, look the way I move. This is wonderful, isn't it? Krishna's looking and enjoying it. And everybody gets surprised. So now look at the way I'm moving. Look at the way I'm jumping. And everything they do, speak, this is the highest perfection of everything. Without being trained. Okay, so they don't do any arts, gymnastics or something. They're just out there with cow. Just because they've been given so many talents by Krishna. Just the pace. Look at the pace. The way they open up their eyes in the spiritual world, or the way they can hear, they can listen. Everything becomes perfect. Why? There's no false self-identification. They're just located in Krishna. Because false me is located in the material elements. We identify ourselves with the amount of money, clothes, conditions of living, car brand, and all these scientific trends. We call it our world. So we have to convert all these opinions to buy this. You know, when the person buys a good telephone, his pace changes immediately. Or a good car, he's so important, right? His manners even change. The amount of money also defines the way he looks, the way he speaks, the way he treats other people. So these are the expression of different energies. So how do we make a person active? So he's going to be in the passion mode. So how do we make this person passive? Well, offend him. He'll just sit and he'll be thinking about it. And it will be very hard for him to do anything. Because if you need to do something, you need to concentrate your mind, but you cannot take it away from your set of mind. So tamas, it restricts you. It binds you. So how do we see a soul? Oh, you gotta be in sattva guna. This is an energy of matter given by Krishna for this purpose. So there are some energies given to blur your consciousness, and there are some energies of Krishna that illuminate you, that elucidate everything. So these are all spheres of the material existence, different forms of manifestation. So even if you are in a mode of goodness, you consider yourself to be so enlightened. but it's not the level of a soul yet. Even though it is hard to chant Hare Krishna Mahamatra. Think about your own prestige and the way people see you. Even there in the spiritual world, it is difficult to chant Hare Krishna, because once you meet a more scholared Brahman, it is hard for you to concentrate on chanting. So what am I supposed to say? So you chant and ask questions at the same time. So there's nothing for you to do. Just listen too much. No, I can't. I gotta do something. So these are the different forms of self-identification. So we encounter some other forms of identification. Right. So we start communicating on a different level. Like, who are you? Who do you think you are? So me? Oh, I'll tell you now who I am. But you, who are you? So once we hear some truth from someone, I go ahead and ask, who are you to say that? What kind of right do you have to teach me? So we don't want to be taught, instructed by someone. You gotta tell me whatever I think of myself. But I'm good. Tell me I'm good. So you can't tell me because you envy me. So there's a philosophy, of course, and we use it. So this is ahankara, these self-identifications. And it finds all these things as arguments. So there's always like a special card. If you run out of cards, you say, I will be great in the future. When scientists cannot prove that the soul comes from the chemical elements, they say, we'll prove it in the future. They run out of cards, so it's a we'll do it in the future. Prabhupada says, you're rascals. Can you even imagine? A body is just a combination of chemical elements. Well, yeah, if it's just the body, the gross body, yes it is. There's a lot of water, bones, there's a form, a shape, a skin. So probably the skin is the most important element for us. Other things we don't want to even show. We just show our skin. And all this so things that we have, this beautiful stuff that we put on ourselves. Or you can apply some makeup or put something on to create some illusion. We decorate ourselves. So, okay, this is me. Now I'm bald. There's no hair. No, it's not me. When my hair grows back again, this will be me. So when I finish school, university, when I achieve something, then you will learn who I am. No, I don't have any hair. I'm featherless. So don't look at me now. You will look at me in the future. Follow the news. And it says here that this condition, it's supposed to bring you pleasure. But who will get this happiness if I think of myself this way? From the material point of view, it doesn't bring me any happiness. I just humiliate myself. No, it's not humiliation, it's the detachment of matter from the spirit. Well, if you just think of the body, it will become grass or hay on the ground, or the soil itself, or someone else's food. So our body is a very complicated mechanism. It's a genius mechanism. This is just a mechanism that is being supported by the spiritual intelligence. That's why it is so valuable. The preciousness in the one who supports all these things, the internal power inside of this energy. So that's what we have to get inspired from. So how about it? It's just the chemical elements. Grass, hay on the ground, earth, soil. You know, our body is just the same. Just take a look at all these living beings. We don't just walk on earth. We walk on the remnants of our predecessors. We've been doing it for billions of years. For billions of years, people get born. We don't just walk on earth, on soil. People die. And they create this. This soul is created out of these dead bodies. So the body dies, it decays, it becomes soul, then it gives birth to grass and vegetation, then we eat this vegetation. Just take a look at this cycle. But we're still looking for the place where there hasn't been any human. Come on, like everything is pierced by this law from the times immemorial. Even the fire is also pierced by living beings. It's just in other forms. All the elements that we see, they all collaborate. Collaboration under the influence of the living force. Even the clouds are formed by the microorganisms. So scientists cannot create a cloud with just vapor. This must be some kind of another cloud. You know, scientists say that microorganisms, they create clouds. The clouds, they have such a power, so much energy, electrostatic energy. Wow, so you could extract thousands of gallons of water. So then you see here, like, okay, this land is dry, so let's pour it here. So where do we get this harvest from? So we're waiting for the rains, and we're sure that it will rain soon. Who said it has to rain? If everything happens accidentally, why do we say it has to rain? We know that this season of the year, it will be raining. They have to. It has to rain. If there's no rain, this is an anomaly. Something must have gone wrong. So we know that the nature is regulated, and the sun comes up right in time, and it goes down right in time, lunar phases, moon phases. And the point is that we always look at one side of the moon. It's so strange. So entire scientists have come up with so many explanations to that. Yeah, but by judging by your faces, I can say that you don't actually understand the reason why. You know, the scientists say that the other side of the moon looks exactly the same as the one we see. I see, this is so silly. Unbelievable thing. So they say that everything is accidental. Isn't it easier to accept that everything is pierced with intelligence, with wisdom? If there's no intelligence, okay, we say that everything is accidental. This is horrible. So how do we explain that? Yekaterinburg, for example, has been created accidentally. Or the Treasure Island here. 500 people here. Everybody has come here on purpose. Each and everyone sitting here has come here for the purpose. So sometimes when we look at people moving around the city, we think that this is chaos. But no, everyone has a goal. But we don't know what this person is going to, and nudges me, pushes me. We call it an accident. In spiritual world, everybody understands it, everybody knows it. Whoever you are the servant of Krishna. And here, whoever you are, everybody is a Lord. We have these conflicts with each other, we try to take advantage of each other, because we have this false soul, the material element, material body. The distorted reflection of the spiritual world. Women are the reflections of the gopis from the spiritual world. Well, distorted, just a little bit, but still, you remind them. Very similar. Very similar by your form. If you look at women, you will forget about the reality very soon. Because they do look like real gopis. If you look at gopis, you will understand that these women are not real here, dancing here. So nature gives you this complicated body, and women behave like real women. There's no difference. But here, a man considers himself to be enjoying something because your material body imposes this thought in you. So, judging by this reflection, the material reflection, we already can say something. Well, you just have to detach yourself from this, from your own body. Not to detach someone from his body, by yourself. Detach yourself from this body. So you gotta be more tolerant than a tree. Having no self-identification and express reverence. It all comes down from the spiritual road. So education is defined. So who is an educated person? The sense of reverence, I'm sorry. So everybody should express reverence and gratitude. Why? No, people will not understand it, but I need it. And there's a witness there that sees this living being and me at the same time. So I gotta do it for him, because the super soul is located in every single living being. So I express my gratitude to the super soul. I express my respect and kindness to all the living beings. This is the spiritual world, the world of love, reverence, patience, humbleness, and false self-identification. You know who the first servant of God is? Prakasha Tattva, Prabhupada says. What is it? Limitless light, limitless spreading light. These planets and living beings, the energies, all are the manifestations of his body. So material and spiritual worlds are together, but this is the first expansion of Krishna, his first manifestation. He spreads himself through Mahas and Karshana, although he does not have any concern in it. He doesn't do anything personally. He creates neither planets or Vaikuntha, nothing. So Krishna does nothing actually by himself. So everything is given to him by Balaram. This is his great service. He's the God servant. And this is his great happiness in it when he serves to Krishna. So we could see in all these limitless spaces, so everybody would know Krishna, and his glory would spread all around the place. Without Balaram, we cannot understand anything about Krishna. If you look at everything that Balarama had created, wow, all this had been created for Krishna. Who is he? So great. He doesn't do anything, but just everybody else does it for him. It is impossible to even understand who he is, because this is the mystery of all the mysteries. His beauty, knowledge, power, renunciation. No one can understand all these qualities thoroughly, because if you want to express all these qualities, there are limitless spaces where here is plain. But Balaram says, I am his eternal servant. So who is Krishna? The essence is in that when we do not identify ourselves with this material body, we automatically understand my nature. So it's like a dream at night. So when you just wake up early in the morning, oh, you're back in reality. Okay, I gotta go to work, gotta do this and that. Although there's no connection of the reality to my sleep, to my dream at night. There was no connection, right? So if I had been told in that dream that you're here and that, I would have said, no, I won't believe you. If someone says now that you will turn into this creature when you fall asleep, I would say, no, it's impossible. So you can turn into a pig when you sleep, right? To any creature. This is an illusion, right? But no matter how this is powerful, you can dissipate illusion in just 1 second. As a dream. Clap when you just wake up. Hare Krishna. It turns out I've known Krishna for a long time. It's just I've fallen asleep. You know, this experience, when you come to the spiritual, to the sacred Dhamma, you think, oh, this is my home. I'm home. And I'm here for the first time. No. This is my place. When you come there for the second time in a year, you think, well, it's like I've been sleeping somewhere else and now I'm just waking up. I'm awoke. So that's the difference between an illusion and reality. But the illusion has this power to cover all your memory. A person asks, who is Krishna, an Indian god? Oh, so he's Indian. Okay. Do you have a Russian god? So I consider myself to be Russian, right? So I need a Russian god. But I will tell you secretly, just for you. He knows Russian. He knows Russian language. He even knows some bad words. She will not excel him in anything, ever. I know you're cunning, but he's even more cunning. You're a beautiful woman, but he's got even more beautiful women. You will not attract him this way. No, impossible. But just your appearance, neither man nor women will be able to attract him except for bhakti, love. So thus, chanting becomes continuous, permanent. So the one following these instructions without offending the holy name achieves the success in Krishna's consciousness and then achieves the level of devotional service of God. And the end of the day, it means that that's the peak, to reach the level of active devotional service. Not just emotional, but active devotional service. So this is the peculiar characteristic of bhakti. So this is the manifestation of ananda, limitless bliss. But there's no idea of gratification in the spiritual world. So this enjoyment comes from the satisfying Krishna. That's how we become happy. Only when Krishna enjoys. So acharyas say that just like food is sent to our stomach, we feel saturated, feel full. So you can enjoy food through your stomach, but directly we can't. Only we can touch it or smell it. But there's no satisfaction that we feel. Although the food is just in front of us, we can do whatever we want with it. So until we digest it with our stomach, we don't know what it is. And of course, I'm supposed to know what it will accept and what we will not. Of course, if the food is bad, we do some bad things, not good for the stomach, for God. So we'll be suffering because of this activity. So I will get a lot of sufferings from that, because my stomach will not accept this food. This will be indigestion, toxins. So the food is suitable for God according to His will, because this will be a bliss for everybody else. So as we act for the bliss, for the benefit of everybody else, and we forget who we are. We don't identify ourselves with this bodily conception from the individuality. So when we say, this is me, this is you, so we don't create this world of duality where people just are so violent. This is the world of exploitation and violence. So first of all, Prabhupada says, you got to understand that the holy name of God is not separate from God Himself. That's the first thing you got to understand. But if you want to achieve this conclusion, it's impossible if you don't chant the holy name without offenses. So in the spiritual world, absolute is always absolute. The name of God, the qualities, the form are the same as God, as the absolute Himself. So the eternal servant of God should be considered the one who sees himself as the eternal servant of God. Understanding it, he's spreading the holy name into the world. So when he understands, he spreads the holy name. So the one who chants the holy name in this condition of state of spirit, he understands that there's no difference between the name of God and God Himself. So when you associate with the holy name, it means that you associate with God Himself. So it's clearly stated that the holy name represents itself to the one who serves to the name. So this serving in humble state of mind starts with the tongue. So your tongue should be engaged in serving the holy name. Our movement of Krishna's consciousness is based on this principle. So we motivate all the members of Hare Krishna movement to serve the holy name. So I'll read some more text. So having gone deeper into the philosophical understanding, a person can realize his own spiritual nature. Next verse. And get liberated. But by performing sacrifices and good deeds, so you can get a reward to gratify your senses on the higher planets. But you cannot go back to God, even having performed thousands of sacrifices. You cannot achieve devotional service except for in just one method, serving to God. So if people worship Ganges, what can you offer to Ganges? So you take its water and put it back where it belonged. You take the same water from Ganges and offer it to it, and it accepts it. So by just performing sacrifices or philosophical knowledge that even may bring some enlightenment, do not take it to the devotional service. So what does bring you? The mercy of devotees that are engaged in devotional service. So we get this state of mind from them, not material. So I'll keep on reading. So if devotee accepts to be liberated by God or senses gratification, so Krishna gives them to him. But the pure devotional service will be hidden from this person. So we can possess some knowledge, spiritual knowledge that liberates us from karma. So all the spiritual practicing people actually are liberated from karma, right? But we're not creating new karma, practically. So you've stopped this process. In this sense, you're liberated. If you just tolerate a little bit, these reactions, they will just cease to exist. The inertia will be stopped. Or regulative principle, 16 rounds every day. So you just unplug it from the socket. We don't do any bad things, right? And we try to serve Krishna. And when we get knowledge, jnana, what's bad and what's good, instructions and laws, it liberates us from new sins. Knowledge. Knowledge that's been given to us from above. Before that, we didn't know that meat was bad. Now we know. We don't do it anymore. Jnana, right? It protects us from karma. So we stop doing it and we start practicing spiritual that does not bring any reactions. So you consider yourself to be a liberated person now. So by fact, there's still some probably bad karma from your life, but factually, you're a liberated person. So Krishna gives you this thing immediately. We feel good, right, if we follow our practice. So we attend lectures, we practice, we feel a lot of positive things in ourselves, we can do a lot of good things, no matter what's happening around us. We don't want to revenge or behave bad, the feedback. So devotees, they act illogically. When someone does something bad, I do not take a revenge. So devotee does not depend on all these circumstances or cause and effect laws or sensual gratification. So Krishna gives you all these sensual gratifications, So they are possible only when the senses are pure. If you follow the regulative principles, your senses get purified, so you can enjoy the air and feel happy. Other people just don't feel it. Just an ordinary air or the sun. You'll be happy when your senses are pure. Only when you drink water, you'll feel bliss. You see, you don't need too many things, but if your senses are not pure, even good things will not make you happy. It goes without saying you will not feel any happiness if your senses are not pure. So Krishna allows you to feel happiness in this world, and He will liberate you. But the pure devotional service is hidden from you if you're not after that. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would spread love to Krishna to everybody, even to fallen souls as Jayapataki High. What to say about pure people? You see, Krishna is hiding the devotional service. He does not liberate it. He does not liberate it so quick. So the difference between the gift that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had given us and the input of the philanthropist is that the last one can only partially alleviate the sufferings of people, whereas Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us the best opportunity to go back to God. Any person, if he is intelligent, comparing these two gifts, will understand the supremacy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift. If you are really attached to the logics, so make it an object of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. You will understand how wonderful it is. So Jayapataki High, two brothers, they personify two sinners of the Kali Yuga's age. So they would bring a lot of miseries to all the people. They would eat meat, alcohol, robbers. But despite that, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has liberated them. Not even talking about pure people, real pure people. Bhagavad Gita says that even if we don't talk about devotees of Raja Rishis, anyone, thanks to the socializing with the pure devotees, gets a chance to go back to God. So, son of Pritha, having become my devotee, you will get a chance to reach my abode, the supreme abode. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has given liberation to these two brothers, but the world is full of these two brothers, of brothers like these two. A lot of meat eaters and robbers and rascals that bring miseries to people. So now it's not even considered to be bad to drink alcohol, or to mess with women, or to eat meat, to drink alcohol. And although these sins, they've become normal for people, you can hardly count for getting liberated. On the contrary, it will enslave people, entangling them in this material world. So now people are in tamaguna, and they're just in passion and ignorance, and there's not even a tint of sattva guna. They become more lustful. So that's the result of touching upon these two gunas, the lowest gunas. So the contact, when you get in contact with these two lower gunas, you become envy, lustful. So everyone is so envy in this age. If we want to survive, we have to refer to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that can bring us to the sattva guna. Srimad Bhagavatam says that so, taking into consideration the chaotic development of this society, those who want peace and quietness, we can only suggest them to join Hare Krishna's consciousness movement that will dissipate this illusion and will get them free from lust and envy. People will get good qualities. Only Vaishnava is able to wake up this desire to go back to God. And only in that case we will all be successful. So that's enough for today. We've read enough. If there are any questions, ask them. So during one of the lectures with the disciples, you said that out of 16 rounds of Maha Mantra, even if you change just one time purely, so how do I understand what it means? And how do I understand if I've pronounced the holy name purely? But it's easy to understand. You know how? I think he already knows. Even if we chant the holy name one round purely, we'll see him face to face. Okay, that's it. As simple as that. No other questions, right? So you will not even ask about that. Well, sometimes Krishna's mercies emanated differently. It's not like you see his portrait. It's a lot of devotees, they feel presence of Krishna. Not just one or two devotees, a lot of them. So another question, Hare Krishna, Chaitanya Chandra Charan, Prabhu, please accept my obeisances. So not the first time here, and I've attended some of your lectures already. But I do understand that I don't have a sincere desire to receive a spiritual teacher. And devotees have told me that you're not supposed to be pushed. Some devotees, they've told me that they've chosen their spiritual teacher with the heart. So what do I do now? Should I just continue going along this path? Or should I do something else? Maybe I should get some qualities. I should work on some qualities. No, you know everything. It's just you're not satisfied with what you have. Not enough. Probably you're greedy. You already have everything. Just value what you have. Everything will come. Just keep going along this path. If a person does not believe in soul, should I even call this person to lectures, invite him? I think we should ask every person, do you believe in soul? Okay, so give me a ticket back. No, you're not attending this lecture today if you don't believe. No, the point is that we should spread it to each and everyone. He might not believe it today, but he will tomorrow. Someone believes today, but tomorrow he might lose faith. So just don't take it too close to your heart. Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for your lecture. Thank you for awakening us. So I just wanted to ask, I've been practicing spiritually, and very often I just fall asleep. So what are the symptoms that something had gone wrong? And how do I change it? Just have enough sleep and then continue. So you've said that we might go back to God in just one life. I'm 35 already, and I know that I have to practice a lot. So what if I don't have enough time? No one can go back to God by themselves. You need Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It will happen by His mercy. If you have faith and you believe in the process of chanting holy name, it will happen automatically by itself. When one of Prabhupada's disciples said, well, you my spiritual master, give me this mercy. Open my Svarupa. So who am I in this spiritual world? What is my spiritual body? You see it, you're my guru. Prabhupada said, this is not a gift of the spiritual master. This is Krishna's gift. Guru gives you the service to Krishna, and then Krishna opens all these things before you. That's the process. You will not be able to understand that. So Krishna will open it for you. Your love to Krishna will open up your essence. It happens naturally. It's like when you fall in love with someone. You open up, right? Automatically. You don't need to be asked what to do now. You completely know and feel what to do next. So how do I tell people that they're a soul but not this body? And how do I inspire them? Not to upset them. So people just don't get it. It's like, they don't seal it, they can't touch it. It's formless, transparent, no colors. That's why they get upset. If you tell them just about the one of 10,000 hair tip, it will not probably motivate person, inspire him. So what can I add? What motivational and inspiration can I add to this preaching? So Prabhupada says that this particle is so small, but it can fill the whole universe. You have to also know that it possesses mystical powers. It's qualitatively same as God. It's identical to God. Size doesn't matter. It's got the same quality as God. So maybe this will inspire people you're talking to. So the more humbleness you develop, that we've been just talking about, some people might not like it, of course. So the deeper you develop these qualities, so the mystical forces appear in you, the more mystical power you have. This is not weakness, this is potency of a person. So what we call potency in this world is connected to fear as a rule. So this is weakness, by the way, as a matter of fact. Hare Krishna, dear Gurudev, please accept my obeisances. You said that devotees have no karma anymore because they've been practicing spiritually. Sometimes it feels like I've got all the bad karma in myself. Well, unless you have a physical body you have to tolerate. While you're in this physical body, you'll be suffering. You have to tolerate it. Heat, cold. So you have to learn how to live without being worried about that. So you're not supposed to be thinking about that. Think about Krishna. And all the other things, they will not have an effect on you. So while you're thinking of how to become happy, you will not settle down. You'll be worried all the time. Either this happiness will come or it will not. Will my dreams come true? Will they not? Pay no attention to that. Some dreams will come true, some will not. I mean, it's a normal thing. We will not be able to live a perfect life. Even if you're a pure soul, you have a mission. And this is the hard thing. And you'll be doing it voluntarily. You will be tolerating it because Krishna will be happy. Prabhupada will be happy, will be satisfied. But if you only think about your happiness, you only have more worries. Because there's no perfect happiness in this world. It does not come to you. Only happiness is in family life. But it's family people, they don't find this happiness. In children, no, you will not find this full happiness in children. In wealth, no, it's not. Where is it? It's not even here. It says so in the Holy Scriptures. Happiness is inside of us, in the relationship with God. It is so powerful that you will not even pay attention to all the disadvantages of this material world. This is the potency of Krishna's consciousness. So how do you become a disciple and become initiated? I think you have to post it on the wall. Ask disciples. There are some rules of ISKCON. Prabhupada has created all these laws and regulations, how to get prepared for the initiation and what you're supposed to do, or which rules to follow. So you have to be following these principles already before getting initiated. Chant holy name every day on a regular basis, 16 rounds a day, and then to take vows for the rest of your life. And then when you're ready for that, only then can you be initiated. So dear devotees, we've got only 5 minutes. So dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my obeisances. So what is culture, and according to which laws does it develop? So we're in Russia right now. It's like we are between West and East. So we gotta be going somewhere. And according to which criteria the Russian-speaking population should be developing civilization. So Prabhupada has been to Russia, remember? So he said one interesting thing for us. In Europe, he used to say about Russians that Russians, they deny God. They don't believe in God. One scholar, he said that there's no God. When you die, everything dies. So Prabhupada used to say about that. And then Prabhupada said that Russians do not believe in God. They atheists, but they are more sincere than the priests in West. Because these priests, they're like, believe in God, but they distort everything, they pervert everything. But Russians are sincere, they're honest. They honestly said that there's no God. They are better in this regard. And when he came to Moscow in 1971, he said that this country is for devotees. This is the country of devotees. They're very ascetic by the nature and gloomy. They're gloomy because there's not enough of spiritual energy. When they get the spiritual energy, they'll become devotees because they're already very austere. So this was the view of Prabhupada. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so 20 years ago, he had also profited this. He said that Russia would start this world spiritual revolution. So we've got already our purpose. I don't see anything else for Russia. In the rest of the things, Russia just doesn't know what's happening. Capitalism, communism, isms, and new Russia is something. You know what India says about that? The Brahmins, the way they look at it, they say in America people are bad, in India good, in Russia both, bad and good, all mixed up. So we have this battle of good and evil, and it's very acute. So people have been looking for the truth, but in the scriptures it says, never stop looking for the absolute truth. This is a normal thing. This is an advantage. So our future is in the spiritual development. That's how we can influence the world. Now we're looking for the national idea, right? No, we gotta create a super or supreme national idea, transnational idea. So we have to strive for that. The Russian-speaking people, they visit our lectures, they listen to my lectures. Right? We don't see this result anywhere else. So, for example, I got a call lately about devotees getting together. So how many people were there? They said 700 people. I said, hold on a second, you mean 70? That was a big program. Even if it were 70, this would be a success. No, they said 700 people. We couldn't believe it. That in Russia so many people get together for the programs. So we see some peculiarities in that area. I do believe in this side of Russia, this aspect. The rest, Russia has no chances. It's taking everything from the West and then it criticizes it. So that's how people understand Russia, the materialistic people. They say, why do we not love Russians? Because they look like Europeans, but think as Asians. They don't, other people don't like it. But we think about spiritual people, they accept it. I'm not Russian or American, I'm not this body, remember? If you just talk about soul, people accept us. But I do believe that Russia has a great future, big future. So yesterday you said that to get mercy you need to serve to the lotus feet of your devotees. Can you explain what it means to serve to the feet? So once Govinda Maharaj was invited by us to our family to have dinner in Almaty in Kazakhstan. So we'd been wanting to invite him for a long time, and then it has finally worked out. So my wife, she did her best to make great prasadam, and I was really worried. So Maharaj, he knows how to cook prasadam, right? He's a first-class cook. So he likes to cook himself very much. So I was really worried, and then I was thinking about, oh my God, the police for him. Our apartment, it was small, but we did our best. So we found some seats, bought some dishware. We had cooked prasadam. So he arrives, he comes up, he says Hare Krishna, he gave us a hug, we gave him a garland. So we said, please take a seat, we're going to have this dinner right now. And I'm just looking at the prasadam, and it's kind of an average, not so sophisticated, just an ordinary one. But he's Brijabhasti, remember, he's an experienced one, he's lived in India for a long time, he knows how to cook. So I was kind of probably upset a little bit, but we've been trying. So he sees it. He sees what's happening. He feels it. And, he doesn't live for himself. It wasn't his aim to come down here to our apartment to honor prasadam, Vaishnava. If you serve him, he will respond you with Krishna. That's what his nature is. If you start serving to Vaishnava, he'll be surprised because he is an instrument of Krishna. He does not need all these things. But he sees that these devotees are serving to Krishna. These are sincere devotees. When he started talking about Srila Prabhupada, so many things, he was so inspired, totally flooded us with all these stories about Prabhupada. And then during his lecture, he said the next day, he said, yesterday I visited Chaitanya Chandra Charan, Prabhu. We had a splendid communication yesterday. Splendid talk. He said, we didn't do anything special, we're just trying our best. It wasn't the best way we could treat him, but anyways, he is Vaishnava, you see? So that's how we get benediction of Vaishnavas. We are given the opportunity to feel Krishna. It's not like you satisfy his senses. No, this is not material. If someone is not at this level, you should not even take on any service. You just serving that. If someone thinks that I'm serving it because I'm this and I'm that, because I'm doing it for myself, and I have this false ego, you'd better not do it. But if you understand that this service is designed for Krishna, not for you, so that's when you'll be able to spread Krishna's consciousness. But this was the sun, right? The light went off. This was a hint, right? Okay, last question. So how do I not come down to aparadhas if sometimes devotees give me some troubles? This is a natural thing, right? This is his service to our false ego. Krishna arranges all these things. These are not troubles. These are the opportunities to serve better. Leaders should accept it this way. If devotees give you some troubles, this is just an opportunity to get better. Just don't criticize them. Just improve your service. That's how you get rid of your false ego. So once Radhanath Maharaj was invited to a festival, to our meeting of the leaders of ISKCON. So we invited him as well. So we were sitting on chairs. So one chair was for him, of course. The others were just sitting on the floor. So he came here and he just took a seat on the floor. So of course I was trying to give him this chair. I said, Maharaj, please take a seat. So I started pulling him out from the floor. I said, no, please take a seat on the chair. So he was resistant for some time. And I would scratch him with my nails. That, oh my God, this was such an aparata. So he saw me going through coma. So he took a seat on the chair. And he started glorifying me. Oh gosh, I felt even worse. I said, Maharaj, I know that you are just destroying my false ego. So that's what you're doing to me right now. Just destroying my false ego. He said, no. I'm trying to get rid of my false ego. So communicating with Vaishnavas is always beneficial. You just think about something. They feel it. Vaishnavas are just like that. They know these things. So once I felt like Radhanath Maharaj was ignoring me. I thought that, okay, who am I? He doesn't even pay attention to me. So I just started, I've just become neutral to him. But I felt like this Vaishnava is so precious. But our personal relationships, I wasn't so important probably. I thought of myself. So we were in Mayapur. Was the leaders' meeting, so we were sitting at a table. Then Radhanath Maharaj, he comes up to me. He saw me. So he takes a seat right in front of me, looking at me and smile. So he looked at me once, 2, 3. And I'm looking at him too, say nothing. He said, I like communicating with you. I like talking to you. I said, why? So I'm sannyasi, you're sannyasi, I'm grihatsky, so what is it so precious about me? So he started laughing like that. So that's the way he was laughing. So he laughed at me and he left. Yeah, there's always something totally unusual happening with Vaishnavas. So lecture is a formality, but the relationships, the personal relationships are so special. So once we were walking down the street with my family, with my daughter, she was 16, very beautiful, as a flower. So we were in Mayapur. So you see all these patches, blossoming flowers and trees and bushes. Then Radhanath Maharaj, looking at Raja Devi. So then he took a flower and gave it the flower. He gave it the flower and they just walked past us. And we're just looking at him, leaving us, thinking about something. It's very important when Vaishnavas open their hearts, when the atmosphere of love and trust. So the atmosphere of the spiritual world spreads. We live in the atmosphere of love and trust, but in other situations, we're very constricted by the conditions of love, of life. That's the way we live. All right.
или нехорошо.
Or not. Good or not good.
Спасибо большое.
Okay, thank you so much. Prabhupada ki jai.